Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty fucking Pitts, back for another episode of the Raw Rewind, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we take no nights off. And by we, I don't mean me, just me. I mean me and the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
That was so just different from how excited I was for mine. And then you're just like, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Did you like my
Hi.
ad lib there?
What?
If Seth Rollins is Seth freaking Rollins,
Oh, yeah.
I kinda want to be Patty fucking Pitts.
Maybe you should be Patty freaking Pitts then.
No, but like that's not.
They have a T-shirt they're selling that says "Summer Freaking Slam."
Yeah, but like that's.
I saw that.
Also,
there is a T-shirt, a signed LA Knight T-shirt for sale on their WWE shop. I don't remember how much it was, but hey,
That's
if anyone's
probably out of my
interested, that's
budget.
pretty cool. I was
You ever
looking
heard Nick Gage?
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Nick Gage?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I got the Patty fuck. Never mind. I blew you.
Okay.
I
am like so confused right now.
sorry. I'm just
Oh, wait.
so hyped
Why though?
because
What
I
is-
have the house to myself. I'm not recording with parents in here, so I can
Oh.
be loud. I can be as animated as I want.
Got
I don't have to worry about having the PP parental patrol on my ass. So I'm letting it fly today, Sara. And actually, after that Raw, I'm not gonna give all the praise. I'm just gonna say we have a lot to discuss. I think we both have a lot of
I was actually watching the show and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to talk about this. Like that's how I was watching. And it's funny because then I didn't even get to doing any of the notes or anything until like 2 hours ago. So I had a busy morning, so I couldn't do it earlier, but here I am. I am ready to party. My sister's gonna be like, "What the hell is going on upstairs?"
No, let it fly. Let it fly. Tell
my free flag fly.
You're in the yard streams with the champ, talking Raw and talking wrestling. Our favorite thing to do. What are we starting off with? Because I'm trying to think of a nice transition here.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is terrible way to start because I was not excited for this starting Raw. I'll just say that. I think that's where my real issue lies. I was not excited for this starting Raw.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I heard Logan's music hit, but in a way, like as annoying as it is and as much as I don't like him, I was like, oh, okay. I was kind of okay with it just because we haven't seen that before. So I was like, all right, well, at least this gets this out of the way, because I don't want to listen to him talk, but hey, at least that was over and done with at the beginning. But I was surprised because other than the fact that the crowd last night was great, they were really into this, though. They were booing the crap out of Logan. They were giving him the what chant. They were giving him the you suck. Very vocally supportive of Ricochet when he came out and interacting with them too, like going off of what Ricochet was saying and then starting the you suck chant again against Logan. So that made me think, okay, is this just a really great crowd or is this actually inciting some sort of excitement heading into SummerSlam? Because it didn't seem like there was that many people that were really invested in this because, I mean, obviously if you're a wrestling fan, you know that this is going to be a fire match. Like that's not a concern. And I think that's something that people are excited about. But everything that's led up to SummerSlam is what people haven't really been interested in. So it's kind of nice to see the opposite of that last night.
It's nice to be on the side of the wrestling fan who is just excited for the match. I don't really need any build up for this. I know what they're going to do or try to do at least out there. And I am excited for that. When it comes to them on screen, cutting promos against one another, doing a little back and forth scrap, I'm not really all that enthused. Not
Mhm.
because I'm not interested, but I just there's not really a story that makes you invested in this except it's just giving the match a little bit more hype. It probably will be an indicator for Easter eggs throughout the match. I'm trying to think of just ways that it interests me since I know that it's what it's going to be. And I just kind of like seeing Logan Paul, getting his ass kicked.
Mhm.
Ricochet doing a cool move to show how aerodynamic he is. So, if that's what I'm gonna get on Raw with this feud, fine. But don't expect me to be as enthused as other feuds. Like for instance, I went up and made myself food to start the show because I forgot.
Mm.
Like, well, it's Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Yeah.
I can go upstairs. It's
Mm.
not Brock Cody or the Bloodline or Judgment Day.
Mhm.
It's something that I can skip for 5 minutes, come back, and know exactly what happened before, what's happening now, and what's going to happen at the end of the segment.
Well, I did notice this, and maybe I'm just looking too much into it, but it kind of felt like they were trying to get Logan to be a bit more of a bad guy because of, insulting the crowd. I mean, he said they were all brain dead. And then getting Samantha involved, which I felt like that was kind of maybe
That was
their attempt at trying
yeah, that
to
was a
get
little
him booed more, but also to bring more substance, like you were saying, to their feud. Like, obviously, if you involve a significant other, it gets a little bit more personal and a little bit more, a deeper rooted issue between them. But I wonder if that was also like an Easter egg. Like, is there going to be some sort of interference? Is Samantha going to be involved somehow? I don't know. I kind of felt like he missed a moment though, where he was like, you're going to have to sit there and, listen to your girl, like have my name come out of her mouth. Is like, that would have been so much better than being like, Logan Paul is the winner. I'm like, you should have said, but maybe it was like too risque to be like, oh, your girl's going to be saying my name.
no. That would have been perfect for his brand, though.
I
That would have
know. And
been right up the impulsive brand alley.
that's what I thought he was gonna say. Like, you're gonna have to sit there lying on the mat and hear your girl say my name. Like, oh my god, Logan, what a missed opportunity.
He's the one that's brain dead.
Well, and then did you hear him later when he was in the back? First of all, what the fuck was the dancing?
I
I
don't know.
was
Don't come at
so
Byron.
confused.
He came at my fucking guy Byron. I don't
I
like that.
But then he also referred to Ricochet as like a full grown fetus or something. I was like, what is
Because he's
this?
bald. It's just low hanging fruit,
I was just
honestly.
like, oh my god. I remember in high school, like my senior year, for some reason, the boys, specifically this one boy, was so obsessed with saying fetus, like in class. And even even I just remember this very vividly, drew a fetus on the whiteboard. And like I don't understand still, because then it's also like our mascot was the Falcons. And so every junior class, um hold on, my cat. Every junior class, like, would the girls would be like one team and the boys would be the other team,
Yeah.
and they would come up with like a name to call themselves, but it had to be an F name, like an F word that you turned into a PH, right? So like the girls from my class were the Flashy Falcons, right? This
I
kid
don't.
wanted to be called the Fetus Falcons. It didn't work. But like he suggested it. He was like, I want to be the Fetus Falcons. I was like, what is wrong with you? And then I hear Logan Paul talking about fetuses, and I'm like, what is happening?
And it's just it's where I mean, to be honest, I kind of love the word fetus. It is really fun to
It's just
say. No,
weird.
it's weird, but it's fun to say.
It's a
All
weird
right,
word. I think, yeah.
it's
But
one of those
anyway,
words
let's move on to something like
like
Gunta.
moist.
Ew. Okay,
There it
okay.
is. You could do a little experiment on that.
All right. So Imperium are interviewed backstage, all three of my boys.
Imperium.
And we are starting to see some planting of seeds that Gunther is not exactly pleased with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. which, you know, I was like, okay, all right, we're going in on Kaiser a little bit. We're laying off Vinci until 2 seconds later, and he's like, I
Yeah.
expect more from you.
Don't even
The
get me
Kaiser.
started about this guy.
Yeah, and I was just like, what is happening? What is wrong?
I kind of felt here. I was like, oh, Sarah's not gonna like that one.
I know. That hurt my soul. I was like,
But
so
my thing
he
is,
then,
what has he fucking done?
you know what?
No,
Anyway.
no. I'm being like serious. Like, what has he done to have Gunther be like, and don't even get me started about this guy? Like, wait, how do we get to there?
Because he was always pinned. He lost them the matches because they always had him take the pin.
The fall.
Yeah, so that's why he was like, this fucking guy, like this guy. That's what he's. That's Gunther always.
Oh
so in this, he announces that Kaiser is going to have a match, and he is going to have a match with a barefoot meddling maggot. And I was just like, why do I have to see this maggot on my screen again? Okay, I don't even know how he came up with that. I don't know why, but it's perfect. It was phenomenal. I was like, yes, Ring General. So we get Kaiser. I love the way he walks. First of all, just so prancy, but like so fancy, a fancy prancy. You know,
he's so fancy doing all that prancing.
Yeah, it's like, I just love it. It's like so in character. It's just perfect. I love everything about it. And this was actually a pretty good match. There was a few near falls. Vinci even gets involved at one point. But I was like, yes, King,
I tweeted this.
You help your boy. I'm very, very thankful that they let Kaiser get the win, because I was like, please do not do this to me right now. Don't have this man lose. Gunther looked very proud afterwards, and then, you know, Vinci's standing there like he's all proud too, but he gets no love.
He gets no love.
I know, except for me. I was like, boy, I'd love you.
He's gonna come over the streams.
I know. But basically, what do you think this means for Vinci? Because we already know that there was the report going around that WWE is very pleased with Kaiser and that they want to push him more as a singles guy. And that was only his second singles win since he came up to the main roster. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of wild.
I have a feeling this is not the best news for Vinci. I don't know. But I mean, the fact that they did kind of start this potential issue involving Kaiser as well, it kind of takes the heat off of Vinci a little bit, but I'm a little concerned.
I just don't see what the issue is with Vinci right now. They haven't done anything with him. So any issues that they have or do have, allegedly, whatever the case may be, it's on them. You know, he was hurt. Injuries happen.
Well, it wasn't a real injury, but yeah.
Whatever the case may be, but they wrote him off television. But why? Like, why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense, because you could have Imperium fight for the tag team titles like they should have.
I know.
And then, you know, with the reports that KO's going to be out for some time, you could have had the Sammy and KO drop the titles to him, and no one would have been pissed. Because then you can have Imperium feud off with legit any tag team, and then you intertwine factions. And when you intertwine factions, you always have stories to come up with.
Well, and they were feuding, and then it just kind of like abruptly stopped and then picked up again 2 weeks later. And now I think that it's just, they're in a sucky situation because of Kevin being injured. So now they're pairing up Rollins and Sammy, and it's like, okay, but like, what about the tag team titles? Like, what are we going to do? And then, of course, they're in a shitty situation anyway because they're unified. So it's not even like they would even attempt to try and break up the titles at this point, because that could have been beneficial for Imperium too. At least take the Raw titles, and then it's not completely getting rid of Sammy and KO as the champion, but at least it takes some pressure off them from being double champions. Because right now it's just like, okay, they're just going to waste right now, and it seems kind of pointless to have Imperium feud with them for however long, and then they like don't even have a real title match. I I don't get it, but
I don't either. I share the same sentiment that you do, honestly, because I went from thinking Imperium was just dominant to actually liking them a lot more so because of Gunther. Gunther is slowly climbing up, and he's slowly climbing up my rankings of favorite guys right now in WWE. He's just, I mean, we'll get to him specifically, but you can have him go as long as you want with an intercontinental title. I don't think anyone's going to care. I don't think
yeah.
you're going to have any backlash, and especially if you do something with Imperium to make them as dominant, maybe have a little feud with Judgment Day. Who gives a fuck if it's three? Heels versus heels.
Yeah.
I just, it doesn't matter when it comes to factions. You can kind of throw that out the window because with factions, it's all about brand dominance or show dominance, whatever. It doesn't matter who you are, who is running the show. You could have two heels in there because the fans are going to cheer regardless.
Yeah. And I think that this match too, it was nice that Kaiser got to be featured again. And I think people are kind of realizing that Imperium collectively are very good in the ring, that it's not just Gunther, because obviously there are some people that are not Gunther fans, and that's fine. You know, I've had people tell me that he's horrible and he's in this and that, and I'm just like, all right, whatever.
It
Like,
doesn't matter what you think. That's
yeah.
what
But I think this was nice because I saw quite a few people tweeting some positive stuff about Kaiser. So I was like, oh, you guys are finally seeing it. Okay. Okay, welcome. Welcome.
you just got
Um,
welcomed.
yes. Are there any comments?
We actually do.
Okay.
Dickie, I think the tag title should stay unified. You could say that each brand has only 5 notable tag teams. That isn't enough to warrant each show having separate tag titles, but that's just me. You know what? For now, I agree. For the way things are right now, I could not agree more because there's no depth. Right now, they're doing a lot of seed planting. They're doing a lot of gardening, we'll say, within each shows. I mean, we've seen it with Alpha Academy already, Viking Raiders for Raw. You have SmackDown with the Suit Profits, pretty deadly when they come back from their injuries. Brawling Brutes, LWO, there's more on SmackDown. Now it's time to get Raw there. Johnny Gargano returned at a live event. Tommaso Ciampa was just facing Nakamura on a one-off grudge match. The stars are aligning there, and that would be the tag team that really could, because there would be a face, obviously, and then they can go up against guys like Imperium, Judgment Day, all that. So you actually have that, classic, wrestling stereotype formula. Formula is the right word I'm looking for.
And I'm, before this, I was all like, okay, they need to split the tag titles. But mostly that was just because the Usos, as great as they are, they were holding them hostage. So it was like had been champion for so long. That was when I was very pro splitting them. Right now, I'm fine with them unifying them because we have seen them have Sammy and Kevin on Raw and SmackDown. So the fact that they're doing that makes me have faith that if there were just one set of titles, that they would be going from show to show. And so that is like, okay, that makes me feel better about it because it's like, you don't want them to be stuck on one show because that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no, I agree. I do think that they should keep them that way. I just think, I was just thinking out, like, how could they go about this if Kevin can't compete for, however many weeks or something?
Yeah, agreed.
Since you
Oh,
okay, sorry.
Just riddle questions. Do you believe rumors outside factors contracts cause Riddle to fall out of favor of WWE, thus resulting in poor booking? I think you can take it.
From what I understand, because I briefly looked into this, people were saying this was like based off of a tweet that Matt sent out, and if that's what it is, then I don't really understand.
There's your tweet.
Yeah, I don't understand the correlation. I don't know. But okay, so this is a different tweet that I didn't see then. I mean, it's possible, but this is the thing. And I think it's possible that he is receiving a little bit more heat backstage, more so than when Vince was around, because I think that people forget the day that he was supposed to, and he did, debut on Raw was the day that he was outed for having an affair on his wife, and he was going all in on this girl is crazy, this girl is psycho, I've never met her, blah blah blah. She backed it all up, and then he was like, yes, I had an affair, but it was like right away, like the day he was supposed to debut, and Vince put him on TV anyway, and so it was like, okay. Then we know that, later that week or whatever, he confirmed the affair. Then comes all the drama of him and his wife body shaming Becky Lynch, starting
Yeah.
to have heat with Becky and Seth, which is like, great move, rookie. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
exactly.
why would you do that. And then of course comes the drug issue, him coming to work high, him going to rehab, him then dating a prawn star, and I'm saying it that way on purpose, prawn star.
Well, the
Then
algorithm.
yeah, and then she's pregnant. Like, it's just a lot of controversy for him. So it feels like it doesn't stop. So it's possible that they're frustrated, but like I said, this has been happening like the entire time that he's been on the main roster. So that's why it's kind of like, can I see them getting frustrated? Yes. But could I also see that they're not? Yeah, because this isn't the first time that something's happened. But
yeah, it's wrestling.
yeah, and as far as he goes, like if he's getting booked poor, I don't see that, because he's still on fucking Raw every week. Like, he's still, like, he just had a match with Gunther. Now he's in a match against Kaiser. He was just tag teaming with the tag team champions. Like, I don't see the decline in booking other than, oh, he's not winning all the time. Okay. Like,
I don't think he needs to win. That's the issue. I
yeah.
don't think he can win, because he's just the background guy. A good comparison I'll make is he's the side character in a sitcom.
Mm.
He's going to be there every week. He's going to do his shtick. He may have a little bit of a character arc, so you get to feel for him, but that's about it. So
I think the only thing I can say, and I've been saying this for a while, is maybe they're finally realizing that he's basically one-dimensional.
He is very one-dimensional.
There's not a whole lot you can do other than being a bro, because of like how he sounds, how he carries himself, how he is as a person in and outside of the ring. So it's like there's not a whole lot you can do with him. So I think maybe that's why. I don't know. I still don't see this poor booking, but
I don't think it's poor booking.
Yeah, I mean, if he's frustrated, that's fine, whatever. But I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, you haven't caused enough issues in the company. Like, what do you want from them? Like, but anyway, let's
one more question, quick, because this is a quick question for me. If I could book one Forbidden Door match between WWE and AEW, what match would you book? Not even close. Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns. We need the Elite versus the Bloodline. That would sell 100,000 tickets at any stadium. Okay. Punk Cody Rhodes. All right. That's very vanilla. Sorry, Micah. But Micah did say you look amazing today. So he ends his little comment tirade on a high note. Let's go back to our regularly scheduled programming, Sarah. Yeah, let's talk about our Alpha Queen, Maxine Dupree.
Yes. So Maxine finally had her debut match against Valhalla. This has been like a highly anticipated match for some of us, at least. And it is one of those things that is like definitely not one of the greatest matches, but it was certainly entertaining. We got the caterpillar again, and Maxine got her first win. So that was really cool. And I loved all their matching gear. That was so cute. I loved that aspect. Really cool. But what I was kind of wondering in this, because we know that Maxine has been training at the PC for however long now. And this whole thing with her and Alpha Academy is like they're teaching her how to wrestle. I assume that she's much better in the ring than what we're seeing from her. Do you think that they're having her trying to look amateur on purpose?
That's a good question, because I was actually having a similar thought when I was watching it today for the second time.
Mm-hmm.
So what I am getting from her is she's nailing every easy way to put it is theatrical elements to it. Like, she gets the selling and a little bit of the registering, but more selling. She gets how to hype up the crowd, and her moves the ones she does, I mean, for God's sake, she hit a crossbody and it actually was pretty good. It wasn't a botch or anything. And thank you. And then she's hitting that. The one issue I will say is that it feels like she is green. And
Yeah.
I cannot say, okay, Micah, this is it. This is what I'm looking for.
Oh,
Okay, when I'm watching this.
are they friends?
Because I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know either.
Probably if they're trying to put, but allegedly. My thought with this is that you could put Tiffany Stratton in Alpha Academy to give Maxine more of a her own I don't want to say look or her own image, her own persona, because right now she's the alpha queen of Alpha Academy, Maxine Dupree. With Tiffany Stratton, she could be like a progeny way, because there's a lot, she could do a lot of the stuff. She's very athletic. I the one issue I had with the match was Sarah Logan, when they were doing an Irish whip. Maxine did a counter and to go back, and then she just
Yeah.
fell or whatever. I thought that was bizarre. I was like, that
Yeah.
was too much. Where if you look at all her moves and that type of technical stuff, she's great or solid, and they're just building on that. She's got everything else, and she doesn't need to be. I think it's a great. I was thinking about this. It's a great time for her to be going through this journey with because the crowd wants to train with her, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. They want to see the development of her with Alpha Academy, where she's putting on 5-10 minute matches on her own. She's not there yet, but could be. And that's what we're going to see throughout this whole process. And then throw Maxine and Tiffany Stratton together, and that would be a hell of a tag team. And you can even do something with Alpha Academy too, because that's her people, whatever. You already had the opposites attract with Maxine at first and Chad and Otis. So then be like, listen, I came in your shoes. I thought, things were one way. It's not. And then you have Tiffany do a little bit of a character too. There's a lot of things you can do with it. I
Mhm.
am obsessed with the Alpha Academy right now. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're entertaining. And that's not easy to do.
It's not in these
I
days.
mean,
No.
the crowds are into it every single week. And I mean, when I am live tweeting, so many people that I follow that are wrestling fans are talking about Alpha Academy in one way or another, whether it's just about one of the members or not. It's like they're doing their job, and it's exactly what WWE will want from them. So kudos to them, and kudos to Maxine, because who would have thunk that she would be at this point, being in the Maximum Male Models, especially with LA Knight breaking off so early, and they didn't seem to have plans for her right away. So she's come a long way for sure.
No, she really has. That's endearing. Maxine was a wrestler before she was a valet. Interesting. Did not know that. Where's the other one? There was another comment. Nope. Oh, yeah, Dickie said Maxine was
Mm,
signed summer 2021. So that just
yeah.
shows too. That's a good point, Dickie. That you have her sign. She signed in 2021. Now she's finally getting that push, and you're learning with her. That's all WWE is doing there is trying to highlight their performance center and what they can do for that wrestler like Maxine. It might take a year or two, and I follow a couple people there, one girl specifically who's been there for a while, but you can tell that they're really trying to get you to learn WWE style. And if you're young enough, you can make your NXT debut, whatever, 25, 26, because a lot of them are in, 19, 20, 21. And if you make it there, you still have a long time, at least 10 years to try to make it in the WWE system. And then guess what? If you don't, well, you can go to another promotion. There's AEW, there's Impact, there's everywhere.
I think this also is um shows you how good Maxine is at making it look like she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yes.
Because that's not easy. Once you figure out how to do things, it's not easy to then look like an amateur. So, I mean, just circling back to my original comment, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to, is it Judgment Day? I mean, They come out into the
Gotta
ring and they're just gonna
keep
hype
on
themselves
moving.
every single week, which I love because they dominate the WWE. So they all come out to the ring. I love their entrance. It's so simple, but I just love how they all just stand there and it's like in the dark with the smoke, and then it's just like once the music kicks up, is they're like, "Yep, okay, we're here," and I'm like, I'm just obsessed.
They are. Rhea Ripley looks like one of those. Oh, when I say overweight, I mean like muscular bodybuilder action figures. When she was
Mm-hmm.
standing there, the muscles on her, holy shit!
Yeah,
Like, oh my god, she of course she's women's champion. Look at her.
what a
I
babe.
mean, stunning. She's she's going. I just see a lot of China in her, and it's all the good of China of the early DX, or not even DX, when she was just Triple H's valet and just body slamming dudes on the outside. I'm seeing a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
where we could lead to her mixing it. Who knows?
I know, maybe eventually. So they come out and they're just basically talking about how they run the company basically, and that they are doing a great job by putting some people on the shelf. So they mentioned Kevin Owens, they took him out last week. They say Sammy hasn't been doing anything, and obviously as we saw last week they laid out Seth Rollins. They say they're going to dominate them tonight if they decide to show up for the tag team match. And then Finn goes off on Seth again, and I was like,
Yeah, that promo, heel Finn Balor, man. Holy shit.
yeah.
He just puts on a performance. The soliloquies he puts out in the ring. You really feel with him. It's just so different from what we saw before. This
Mm-hmm.
seems more real and genuine. It really seems that he is that upset about losing or having to drop the
Yeah.
Universal title to Seth Rollins after he injured him, because it's been 7 years and look how their careers have trajectored. Seth's
Mm.
the hottest star right now on Raw, and Finn Balor is, I mean, on
He's
the
getting
outside
there.
looking in,
Yeah.
he's a little bitter bobcat, a little dark bitter bobcat.
Well, and I think that that is what makes it so good, is that I'm sure he can kind of dig deep inside himself to remember how he felt, where it was frustration, and maybe it wasn't directed at Seth specifically. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but obviously you work so hard, you get to the main roster, you're in the finals for the brand new championship, and then you blow your shoulder out. Like, it has to be so frustrating to work so hard for something, accomplish it, and then get it taken away within 24 hours. So I think the fact that he's able to take his real life experience and use that in this, it makes it so much better than what this feud could have been if they didn't have this whole 7-year history thing. I think this is just like I said, this is the best we've seen of Finn in WWE, and it's just another reminder of why they should have let this happen a long time ago. But I guess we can just embrace it now.
Cherish it.
Yeah. So he
Cherish
goes
it.
off on Seth again, and he says that he's had to look at his scars in the mirror for the last 7 years, and he wants to do the same thing to Seth and inflict scars on him that he'll be able to look back at and know that he lost the World Heavyweight Championship to Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Dom tries to get on the mic. He can't talk over
Oh, that
those
was the
boos.
funniest. That was the funniest thing of the whole entire segment. It was everyone being serious saying their thing, and Lil Dom like, and the judgment, and you just hear a rain of boos.
Mm-hmm.
It's just music to my ears, Sarah. It
So
really
obviously
is.
he tries to talk. Rhea speaks for him, but then she talks about her situation, and she says that they will eliminate anybody, but she will eliminate anyone who gets in her way, and that maybe people should be taking a page out of Raquel Rodriguez's book and run and hide from her. And then we hear Raquel's music hit. So they kind of brawl for a little bit. Raquel gets the best of Rhea at first, which I loved that aspect, because obviously Rhea is a dominating person. She's in the women's division especially. So that's how we've seen her up to this point. So it was kind of cool to see something different, and not just to see an opponent of hers that appears as an equal to her, as opposed to someone that she could just throw around. and win in 2 seconds. So I like
Natalia.
that. Yeah. So Raquel does get some good offense in, but Rhea does go low and gets her in the knee, which then we see later. They're really trying to sell this knee injury with Raquel, and she's in the back with the trainers, and Adam Pearce is like, hey, you have this match whenever you're cleared, you're going to get this match, like don't even worry about it. And so I'm questioning, is this not happening at SummerSlam now? I mean, I don't know how they can say, oh, when you're cleared, and then we're supposed to believe in 4 days that she's cleared.
When I see, this is do you want some positive hits for this? Do you want my positive spin on it?
Sure.
You don't sound too enthused.
Well,
I'm
I don't know what you're meaning, so
no.
yeah.
So there's no women's matches on the card as of announced.
At
And
SummerSlam, yes, there is.
who?
Ronda, Shayna, Asuka, Bianca, Charlotte.
Okay. I mean, there's no this. Okay. Point is, there's no women's title match on Raw.
Okay.
Back to my point. Rhea the only thing that I can think of that what they're doing is maybe having, Rhea come out or say something with Judgment Day, and then there's a backstage saying like, I'm cleared, and she, are you kind of all right, never mind. I had a point, but then you said the other matches, and I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. So.
Well, I'm wondering because we'll get into a match that they cut. I'm wondering if maybe something big is going to happen at SummerSlam, and that's why maybe some matches that you think should happen or were going to happen at SummerSlam are not going to happen.
That's
now.
the only logistical thing I can think of.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though, just to think that possibly the new women's championship, the World Women's Championship, that's not going to be defended at SummerSlam. Like that kind of sucks because it is the newer title, so it would be nice to have it defended at one of the biggest shows of the year. Yeah. And if that doesn't happen, then I mean, as long as we get it at some point, it's just kind of I don't know. I was hoping that we were going to get this match at SummerSlam. I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks. So
just something.
If we don't get it, then it is what it is. But it would have been cool to see that happen.
Jeez, I got a frog in my throat. We have some comments about this.
Okay.
Let me go through it here a little bit. Many people expect a quick Priest cash in, but I think a storyline of Finn winning it and Priest having to wait months to cash in, either on Finn or the person that beats Finn, will drive him crazy. Yeah, it's too predictable for Priest to cash in on Finn. It also really rushes the whole arc of Judgment Day, and you need to keep them at the top as long as you can. So there's no reason to rush this. And the fact that you have Money in the Bank and WWE Champ in the same faction as close as they are, it's going to make fans think every week he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And everyone's tweeting about it and talking about it and chanting about it, which is exactly what they want. So how long can you have that go on? I mean, for God's sakes, they booed Dom every week since WrestleMania, maybe even before that. And they're just like, let's go. And they keep egging it. They just they know how to keep pushing the buttons to make it happen. So that's what they're going to do with this feud as well. I love it.
I think I mean, I'm so hopeful that Finn is going to win on Saturday. And so if we're going with that assumption, I like that the roles would kind of be reversed with him and Damian, because Damian has had the upper hand since he won the Money in the Bank contract. He has something that he can hang over Finn's head, literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
But if Finn has the championship, then it kind of like equals things out between them. Yeah. Because he has the title versus he has the briefcase. So it's kind of like, I have something you want, or I have this and I can take what you have and what I want. I think it kind of makes things a little bit more interesting, and it would put their relationship to the test and their loyalty to the Judgment Day, because yeah, that's like inner turmoil. But I also want to see Finn have a long reign. If he's going to be champion, I don't want it to be something like, he does get cashed in on it in a month or two, or it's taken off him in a month or two. I want it to be longer.
Do we see Raquel appearing on NXT tonight telling Rhea she's 100% clear? That's kind of what I was getting at. But at SummerSlam in a backstage segment, more leading up to the show, because my mind has been really in on the fact that AEW has an event at Wembley Stadium. They've sold 70,000 tickets for it and have not announced one match for it. And there's a lot of talk about, just not even announcing any match and just going old school with it. Kind of love that. So it kind of was going in that way. But yeah, and I understand why people are mad. Four women's matches turned into two seems weird, but I also understand the logic and the context behind it. Shorten the show a bit, but give other matches more time. I agree. I think that you can build up Rhea and Raquel a little bit more for a pay-per-view with the other matches, especially Shayna Ronda. And I mean, this weird triple threat dynamic that we got going on over at SmackDown, they seem like they need a lot more time on a pay-per-view than this stuff on Raw. So,
well, then there's also rumors of The Rock because it's the at the stadium, I think or the arena can hold 50 to 80,000. I saw someone say 50, someone said 80, so I have no idea.
It's Detroit. It's the Lions.
Yeah. So people were saying, if The Rock is going to show up for anything, then he might show up. It seems like likely he would show up for SummerSlam, especially at that capacity. So I think that's something that you can take into consideration too, that maybe matches were cut, like I said earlier, because if something crazy happens, like The Rock comes out, or Randy Orton is rumored to return, stuff like that.
Heard he's not cleared yet, though.
And I don't know that he's ever going to be cleared, if we're being honest. Or if he does, it's not going to be immediately. Yeah. Because, back injuries are something you don't fuck with. Like, you don't come back too soon, or you don't come back because one doctor told you so. You know what I mean? It's the whole thing with the neck injuries. Like, that's why Saraya had to go out. Daniel Bryan, Edge, because you don't mess with those bones in your body.
No. Wait, see, what's that say? See if Rick shows up Saturday, I'll cash up $10. All right, or Sara, and by Rick he means the Rock.
The Rick.
I am the people's champ, the Rick.
Can you smell what the Rick is cooking?
I have a feeling it's going to be more twists and turns than unexpected returns than what we anticipate. Your thoughts? I kind of could see that. Look at what happened last year at SummerSlam. Dakota Kai and Io Sky and Bayley all returned. Now sitting at banners like, what the hell's going on? Like they turned down the sound after the match to go into the trivia or whatever DraftKings segment, because they thought the match was over, and everyone was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. We got returns up there. Turn that shit back up.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I could see that. I think I kind of prefer when they just, not that I don't like surprise returns. Obviously, those can be fun, but I do like it when it's a surprise twist or something like that, because if you're invested in a storyline, it's kind of cool to see them do something with that, because that's what we're seeing every single week. And I don't know, you're more invested in that because of all the weeks, the months that lead up to this show, rather than, when someone returns, it's like, yay, but it's like, okay, now what? Like, it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. So, but just to tell you guys, as long as Pat is good with this, we are going to be doing our SummerSlam predictions tomorrow.
Oh no, yeah. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be doing a live stream for our predictions tomorrow instead of the Thursday show. And then I will cut them into clips, obviously, and put them up Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning.
If we're announcing stuff, I'll announce right now that my work event on Saturday, that I was so fearful of missing SummerSlam 4. It ends at 5. It ends at 5 in the afternoon.
So that's perfect. Right.
So that means I can go home and I can even help clean up for an hour afterwards and go home.
That exciting.
And if anyone asks me to do anything this weekend, you know what I'm going to tell them?
What?
Oh, do we have that clip? No, do we have that clip? Come on. You know what? We don't. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm going to tell them?
If that's what you think, I got 2 words for you.
Sounds good to me. Moving on. So then we had more Imperium. This time we had little
This was
Gunther.
awesome. This was awesome.
So Alpha Academy is in the back, and they're just like, yes, queen and kings, because they're celebrating Maxine getting her first victory, and Imperium just rolls up because they enjoy doing this and pissing people off, apparently. And
It's so funny when Gunther does it. It's like, you think this is cute?
Yeah. What are you doing in my locker room? What are you doing?
My right-hand man over here.
Yeah.
Impresses and brings sacredness back into the ring in the first match, and then you go out there and tarnish it.
Like, you make a mockery. You make a mockery of the sport.
Yeah. It's just, oh my god, he's just awesome. He's just awesome.
You're welcome for getting you even like more hardcore into some of these.
Yeah, you just
I'm a good influence.
It's nice.
Yes. So Imperium interrupts their celebration, and as we said, Gunther is just like, you guys made a mockery of the sport. How dare you? Blah, blah, blah. And he says, Gable, you're not even worth my time. And Kaiser's like, he wouldn't even last in the ring with you for 5 minutes. And I was like, and then Gable was like, I would last 5 hours. And he accepts Gunther's challenge for the 5-minute challenge. And this match had me a little bit concerned because I was like, they're going to have Gable win and I'm going to be so angry.
I didn't think that.
Okay, well, they did.
No, I'm going to let you go and continue, but I didn't think that.
So Gable wins the 5-minute challenge because, he's an Olympic winning wrestler. So, of course, they're not just going to bury him. He's too good for them to do that. But then Gunther's like, no.
Yeah, great.
No. This match is continuing because I said so. And I was like, thank you, wrestling gods, because we talked about this not too long ago, right? Like Gable and Gunther, I think.
We've thrown out that dream match on the show. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so obviously, again, I could go into details about how great the match was, but if you watch it, you know how great it was. And so many people were talking about how good it was and complimenting both of them. But again, people seeing how good Gunther is and Gable, but you know what I mean. So Gunther does win that, and then he gets on the announcer's desk, which is his favorite thing to do right now, which I am here for. Gets on the mic and
so good.
Yeah. And he gets on the desk and he says, she was trying to pull it out of my ear.
Listen to me. That's what she's doing.
Okay, so Gunther gets on the announce desk and he says that he is going to beat McIntyre at SummerSlam. Basically, that's what he ends up saying in many more words and a better accent. But are you still feeling confident? I don't say you don't have to say what your prediction is. I think we already know what it is, but I'm getting a little nervous that they're not going to let him win, or they're teasing McIntyre. I'm a little scared. No, not going to lie.
No, you need to hype up McIntyre because he is Drew McIntyre. He's a former U.S. champion. I mean, not U.S. He's a former world champion.
And he's gone, I guess. So, like, he wasn't there on Raw.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, and he's so close to beating the Honky Tonk Man's
I think
record.
It's like 50 days.
Yeah, it's 50. It's so I looked at him and Roman's, obviously, and Gunther's like double-digit days, where Roman's like 400 days. Yeah. I mean, if it's double-digit days, why not? I don't care. Mm-hmm. Does anyone else care that Gunther could reign for another 100 days? I don't. It makes sense. Have this dude just put on just banger after banger match.
Yeah,
slapping meat all around. It's awesome.
I love big meaty men slapping meat.
Big meaty men slapping meat. Where is it? There it is.
Big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, we love it here. I hope that it happens. I think it's just kind of like my pessimistic brain. It's like, it's wishful thinking, but I feel like you can't have him be champion this long and then decide, now at the last minute, like when becoming the longest reigning champion is right around the corner, that's when you decide to take it off him. Because it's like, what was the point then? You should have just taken it off him months ago. So I do think it's going to be a great match, and we'll talk about it on our SummerSlam prediction show tomorrow. I'm very excited. And this is a match that I think is one of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most, if I'm being honest. But I feel like the entire match card is going to be great, or at least it can be. It looks great right now.
Very good. It's gonna be very good. Very excited.
So then we had Brock Lesnar. He comes out and beats up Cody Rhodes again. I mean, hello, this is just like Cody's a masochist. I don't know. This is just where he's at in his life now. I do see, again, I've talked about this, and I'm going to talk about it as long as it keeps happening. It's such a different side to Brock. First of all, comes out and he's all like, I'm with my people, because he's in Texas. So he's all like, I'm a hillbilly now. And
yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah. And he did. He came out and he's like, oh, I'm a hillbilly, y'all. And then we
verbatim.
were like, okay. Yeah. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
But he didn't do his normal entrance. He wasn't smiling, which they even pointed out. They were like, this is a very serious Brock Lesnar, and we haven't seen that in a while. So he introduces himself, which I love how he does it, because he's so, like, I've been around Paul Heyman too much. Like, I have to say
it was very Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it's like you can't say Brock Lesnar without saying it like that. And I loved how he was embracing and like asking the crowd to do the what chants. Like he was purposely
he was egging them on.
Yeah, but I loved how he, like, not even just like welcoming it. He was also like speaking purposely, like taking
the
breaks.
cadence. Oh, it was the cadence with it.
Yes.
It was incredible. Yeah.
So I loved that, because he's supposed to be the bad guy. Like he's not supposed to be like wanting that from the people. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So he said that he's going to show up to SummerSlam. He's going to get paid to fight, kick ass, and beat Cody Rhodes. And then he says, and you know what Cody's going to do? Cody's going to show up to SummerSlam, get his ass kicked on Saturday, and be beaten by Brock Lesnar. And it was like, oh, all right. And he says, if Cody believes otherwise, then he can come out here and say it. I'll respect it. I'll shake his hand. I'll look into his eyes, and I'll just say, I'll see you on Saturday. And then we get Cody, very serious Cody, but of course they're like, you know what? You don't got to do the whoa. You can come out being all serious, but we're still going to do your pyro. Okay. You're in the budget. So
it was incredible. I just love this, because I'm looking and I'm like waiting for him to just kneel down at least and give like a half-ass one to, but he was so stone cold focused on Brock Lesnar with the walk, the shirt, ready to fight, and then the pyro's going off as he's just storming down, no emotion.
Yep.
Oh, it was amazing.
I feel like he probably had to have been like wincing on the inside, being like, I need to do this, like
walking down, like, whoa.
It's a normal action now, So Cody comes out and they shake hands, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. This is different. And then as Brock is like, all right, I said that's what I was going to do. So I'm outie. And as he's about to get out, he shoves Cody, because Cody's like, you think I'm gonna move, bro? I'm not moving. And then we're like, oh, what is gonna happen? And then Brock just gets out of the ring, starts walking away, and Cody's like, you know what? No. And he does a suicide dive to hit Brock. And this is where the masochism comes in, because it's like, bro, why? So Brock is like, you little twerp, is what he said. You little twerp. And he starts just beating him again with the steel steps, trying to break his arm, just doing everything possible. And he would start leaving, walking back, leaving, walking back. And it got me to thinking, do you think this was a good move for them to do this leading up to SummerSlam? Because I was thinking we were going to get a stipulation. Looks like there's no stipulation, but now they're going into it to try and build into, again, that Cody is going into a pay-per-view beat up. Do you think that was the best thing to do?
Because all this does is foreshadow that whatever Brock tries to do, you cannot keep Cody Rhodes down. That's all. That's all they're trying to convey in that little back and forth. That no matter how many times Brock walks away and thinks he's done or tries to pin him in the match, he's not gonna do it. Cody's gonna come back. So it doesn't matter what stipulation you really put on at this point. At this point, I really just kind of want an unsanctioned. You do a little social segment, before it to announce it.
Yeah.
You do a little like, oh, they were in the backstage area here or at this thing here or whatever. And they went at it. I mean, you already did it with Roxanne and Blair Davenport, so why not just kind of make it in the Cody Rhodes Brock?
Well, and they could even say, Cody could talk to Adam Pearce or something and be like, you know what? Because of what happened on Monday, I really need to have no limitations. I need it to be a no DQ. I need it
I
to be
can't have
this.
any. I can't have
Yeah.
any thing weighing me
Yes.
down.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, because I was kind of shocked that I think as of right now, it's only Shayna Ronda that has a stipulation. So that's kind of,
tribal court
well, yeah.
or
Yeah.
tribal combat.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we don't need too many, but this was one of those ones that we predicted. We assumed was going to have some sort of stipulation attached to it, given the intensity behind it. But as of right now,
kind
it
of
looks
love
like,
it. I kind of love how WWE just not overstacking the
yeah.
card with gimmicky matches or just a gimmick to a match and just having matches.
Well, I think there was a time period where I feel like there was a lot of that, where there was just like stipulations added to a lot. This reminds me a lot of like back however many years ago, where the stipulation meant something. Like
Yeah.
it needed to be a part, because these two guys have been going at it for months, and this is going to be their last one. So we needed to make it an Iron Man, or it's going to be a no DQ, or it's going to be a cage match, because too many people had been interfering. Like it used to mean something, and I feel like in recent years, it was just kind of like, oh, we just want to kind of up the ante and shock people, so we're going to put them in a cage. And it's like, okay, but like,
Why?
it didn't make any sense to what they were doing. So I feel like at least recently, and I don't know, this could change, on the next pay-per-view or whatever, but at least it seems like right now they make sense to what the story is and what's going on between the wrestlers involved, if that makes sense.
No, I would agree with that.
So,
I did have a couple of questions here that
okay.
we need to answer because
All right.
where is it? Where is it? Up here. I was where Micah asked it. Here we go. It's he did ask us if we're watching the Cody Rhodes documentary or if we haven't yet. Micah, I am watching that as soon as we get off this. So there's your answer. I'm gonna tweet out my thoughts. I'll
probably be watching it tomorrow. I've just had a long day, and I have to write and stuff tonight and edit. So I'm probably not going to do that tonight, because I want to be able to sit down and actually watch it without having to do other things at the same time. So.
Yeah, fair. I also have had a long day, and I think I need to go to a galaxy far, far away. So here are the questions. If you had to pick one shock, surprise, one heel turn, and one return at SummerSlam, who would you pick? I'm going with my shocking surprise, Carlito.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe he helps Santos win the United States title, since
that's not happening at SummerSlam.
Maybe he just shows up.
maybe Carlito returns after SummerSlam.
He just shows up. I don't know. One heel turn. I'm trying to think of the
Bianca.
card. Yeah, like not really though.
Charlotte. Because I mean, like, I'm sorry, Bianca turning heel against Charlotte, it's not going to work. I don't care what anyone says.
It's so dumb.
It wouldn't work. So I mean, as much as I think I would love to see Bianca as a heel, she can't do it against Charlotte.
I would kind of love Ricochet. What if Ricochet just turns heel because everyone gets behind Logan Paul and then just turns into a dick?
That'd be
something.
Yeah.
One return. I swear, I'm just gonna say this because I need to manifest this. I will cry tears of motherfucking joy if Dwayne The Rock, the People's Champ Johnson, shows up to SummerSlam. I will be a child. It would be such. I can't even think of the words to describe what my excitement would be, because he just coming back, it would not only be great in the return, the nostalgia factor for me, whatnot, but could you imagine the element he would throw, or the wrench he would throw into the bloodline? Oh my God, I need it.
That was like me with Cena showing up at Money in the Bank. I was very emotional. you know, because I was like, that's my man.
And it was that was a complete shock.
Yeah,
That one.
and I think that's what it is. Like, it's like, even though we're speculating about The Rock showing up, if he actually did, it would still be kind of legitimately shocking, even if we've been talking about him possibly showing up for months at every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
If it actually happened, I mean, this has been something that's been going on for years, where it's like, oh, is The Rock going to show up? Is he going to have a match at Mania? So, like, if he actually did show up at SummerSlam, even if, you know, like I said, even though we've been talking about it, I think it would still be like, holy shit, this actually is happening, you know?
Yeah. This, you know what I'm still kind of upset about that I didn't see coming, because I should have had some foresight, because I saw a report that he was in London for a movie thing or filming. Should have put 2 and 2 together. That's on the champ. Sometimes we lose. Bernard's watching the doc tonight or tomorrow. If Kairi Sane returns, that would be sick. Just because we need more women in the women's division to go after a title, or just
on Raw.
make feuds.
We need it on Raw. Yeah.
Get Candice LeRae, get Indy in there. I just, yeah, I need it. All right, so let's get to the file. We're kind of a little over here, but that's fine, because we're talking with the peeps. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. So I'll hit the button. I will hit it. All right, so there we go.
No, you have to get rid of the comment first. Okay, there we go. Never mind. All right, so we're gonna talk about Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Apparently, you know, that the months and months and months of that build up.
We find out last comments night asking, like, telling us, like, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus taking the SummerSlam. Becky Lynch taking, like, here's your time, peeps. This is where we're gonna talk about it.
Yes.
Ears up.
So we knew that Becky got her rematch with Trish because she beat Zoe last week. So Becky says, you know what? No, I actually want this match now on Raw right this second. Trish and Zoe come out, and Trish is like, no. And after some back and forth, Pierce comes out and is like, nope, actually this match is going to happen right now. So basically the match kind of starts, but then Trish and Zoe jump Becky, and basically it ends in a disqualification. So technically,
you knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah. So technically, Becky wins, but not really. It wasn't satisfying, obviously. So Pierce approaches Trish and Zoe backstage, and it's like, nah. Okay. He says, nah. That was not cool. That is not cool at all. That was not a match. And he said, you know what? Since you want time to prepare, I'm going to give you time to prepare, and you're going to be favored because they're going to be in Canada, and you were going to have your match with Becky in 2 weeks on Raw. And so that was when, like, shit hit the fan a bit on the Twitter machine, because people were legitimately shocked that Trish and Becky was not happening at SummerSlam. And it was like, okay, so why did it get taken off? Because they had been promoting that this was going to be a match to happen at SummerSlam, and it was a women's match, and you know, it's been happening since Mania. So what's going on? So that, I think, was a little bit, it was shocking to me as well.
It was very shocking, because I share everything you said. It makes no sense. Why would you not have Becky Lynch and Trish on a SummerSlam card? I know it may not be the best technical match or whatever, but it would be the culmination of their feud. You need to have Becky Lynch on the SummerSlam card. It's the freaking man. And it's Trish Stratus. I just feel that that'd be another big legend to have on the card. And this match is something that you could build up, and it has been built up for a long time at this point. Yeah. Why are we doing it on Raw? I get me. Okay, it's in her hometown. All right, you're going to go for that. But this is a pay-per-view match that should be on the pay-per-view card.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, like, it makes me wonder if the reason why these matches were taken off was because there was going to be 4 or 5 women's matches, so they wanted to cut them down. But I also wonder if that means that something else is going to happen, and they had to cut off matches that didn't have as much meaning as other matches, and it just happened to be the women's matches, which is like, are we supposed to be shocked about that? Like, no. But, you know, so then we have to suffer through 2 more weeks of this, unfortunately. Which it is what it is, but that's fine.
Do you think Trish happening in Canada so Trish gets to retire in front of her hometown crowd, or maybe one and both women have undisclosed injuries that they're trying to hide? Both those could. I mean, she's already retired in front of her hometown once. Why not do it again? A little
Mhm.
deja vu. And honestly, I would say Trish would be injured more than Becky. I just don't think she could do that match. Oh, what is this? Mike says SRS reported that the reason Becky and Trish is canceled because one of them is going through a
Hmm.
personal issue. I do not know what that is.
Me neither.
Not I don't like commenting on personal issues. Probably the background of media and working with teams and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm just gonna say if that's the case, that makes sense. That will be my
Yes.
lasting comments. Oh, we got a comment from Kingdom of Razor. Uh
Hello.
oh, okay, hold on. Do you think it's time for wrestling as a whole to exempt the weight storylines for bigger wrestlers, whether male or females? It's just something that happens. It's just easy, low hanging fruit. It's David versus Goliath. It's typical story in anything. Wrestling, football, baseball, basketball. It just doesn't matter. It's always that physical element. So, it's gonna be a storyline. There's just smarter ways to go about it, where it doesn't just have to be the weight or height.
Yeah, like I said, we don't need Piggy James storyline
Yeah,
2.0.
no, we don't need any of that. We maybe like Omos versus Rey Mysterio type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine with. I think that's a great little feud. All right. So what's next, Sarah?
Um the Shayna and Ronda Rousey videos were, I know I say perfection, and maybe some of you think that that's exaggerating, but no, these were wonderful. They were fantastically put together, and um I felt like it was the perfect time for them to come out on the go home show, because everything leading up to this point, I don't know that anyone was looking forward to this match. I'm not saying that the match is going to be all that good. I don't know. It's more than likely not going to be that great. But this got me way more invested in this. And I think it is because of that personal aspect of it, where we do know that they've been friends forever and they've trained together and they've done this and they've done that. And the fact that they were able to implement that into their storyline to give it more depth than just being like, surface level kind of like ego. I
Yeah.
thought that was great. It gave more context and emotion and substance to the whole thing. And what I thought was interesting was it's being reported that Jeremy Borash is the one who produced it, and that Heyman was heavily involved
Yes.
in the
I
making
love
of them
Jeremy
as well.
Borash.
So I wanted to hear your opinion on it because, like, as I said, I felt like this got me more excited for the match. And like I said, I don't know if it's going to be good, but this makes me feel like it has more potential to be good.
I mean, we know my thoughts here about Ronda Rousey and that
Yes.
whole feud. I mean, I fucking stormed off the show. But goddamn, they pulled me back in with this 2 vignette thing or package thing.
Yeah.
It was so well done. The sit down interviews with them, it felt more like it was like a legit fight between two friends who now hate each other because tensions have boiled over and egos getting in the way. And the egos is, yeah, the service levels you mentioned. But the nice thing about this little video package was that it gave reasons, it gave
Mm,
details to the ego thing, not just, oh, yeah, you can tell immediately. No, I mean, the staying at the house, the training partner. When did she ever be my, sub in or, sparring partner was the word she used.
mhm.
She was never my sparring partner for a training camp. It's details like that that would actually piss off a friend, like, so to bring that in, and then the pictures of them training on Ultimate Fighter. I mean, for God's sakes, they had the 4 horsewomen of UFC with even AEW wrestler Marina Shafir. I don't know
Mhm.
if you saw her on all the way on the left side.
Mhm.
So, and then the picture of them staying at the house. It was just when you bring any personal element into the wrestling stratosphere, it's always going to make the fans care a little bit more.
Yeah.
And they just made, like, I actually want to see this match now because it's under MMA rules, because I saw this little video thing, and it just makes me get behind Shayna a lot more. That, okay, this may be Ronda's, last hurrah, putting over Shayna, whatever. And now we're going to get the badass Shayna Baszler. that stormed and bulldozed their way through NXT Black and Gold.
Mm-hmm. And I loved that they got emotional when they were talking, and
Yeah.
it didn't feel forced. It felt very genuine, and I'm sure part of it is just like, when you have to portray this kind of thing, it's easy to imagine that what you're talking about, although it's fiction, you can try and make it seem like it's real. And I liked that element to it, because again, it made it feel almost uncomfortable to watch, because it really did feel like, I mean, this is, Shayna says that she's the godmother of Rhonda's child, so that connection there is deep. And so yeah, I very well done. And I was in awe, honestly. Definitely, I think some of the best work that WWE has done recently, and very much needed for this feud. And we have the Judgment Day versus Sami and Seth Rollins, and I don't have a whole lot to say about this other than, are we going to, do you think that Finn's hesitation to give Damian the briefcase to cash in, do you think that's going to become a bigger storyline? Or is that just going to be, because I mean, they were trying to harp on it a lot at the end of the match, being like, oh, Finn was hesitating. And I'm like, yeah. And then Damian turned around and got his face kicked in. So it's like, it wouldn't have really mattered if Finn had given it to him 2 seconds earlier.
No.
But yeah, I think this is just like to me, it felt like a build up to just, the drama between them, possibly.
No, this match, this main event, just it didn't really do anything for me, not in a bad way. Just okay, it's your stereotypical Monday Night Raw main event tag team match to conclude, to go home into SummerSlam. You're gonna have the 4 big players. I mean, Sami Zayn don't really, maybe not, probably not at this point, but you had Seth Rollins, all that, and it just did its job. That's why I don't really have any comments about it, because I'm satisfied. I mean, if you watched it, you could kind of have the same thoughts that I did. I just, the only thing I will say, and I want your thoughts on this, that Seth and Sami won, does this kind of prelude a championship switch?
I know, that's like the old school way of how Vince booked things. Like whoever had the upper hand at the go home show is usually the one who ended up losing at the pay-per-view. So if we're sticking to that, then yeah. But I feel like we've also gotten kind of little hints here and there over the last couple weeks that it seems like it's going to be Finn, and I hate that, because I don't want to be disappointed in it not happening if it doesn't happen. I think that it's just like, it's too, it reminds me a lot of, people felt that Cody winning at Mania, it was like just the perfect timing. Like you had to go with it, because it was like all the stars aligned, everything was in your favor, you should have done it, right? And it didn't happen. And obviously this is not anywhere near that caliber of a match, but it still feels similar, where it's like a full circle moment, because it's against Seth Rollins, and now Seth is the champion. It's at SummerSlam, and you're having a match, and you're both like in the prime of your careers. It's like, it feels too good for them to pass up the opportunity to make Finn champion. And that just makes me nervous, because I'm like, well, we've seen in the past, like,
but it makes more sense with them than it did Cody.
Yeah, well, yeah, because Cody's thing is obviously it's an end goal for him to become champion. So you don't want to just give it to him right away, because then, okay, the whole point of him coming back was for the title. And if you just give it to him on his first opportunity, it's kind of like, okay, now what? Yeah. But Finn, they've been emphasizing the 7 years, and this really is like the first opportunity that Finn has had to regain a main championship on the main roster. And so I feel like it's, you got to do it. But yeah, so I hope we see it. But if it doesn't happen, you'll very loudly hear me complain. So and
you're gonna hear us.
Damian got busted open from the briefcase being kicked in his face. So
makes sense.
Yeah, that's why he was bleeding. I just saw that quickly when I was going. I don't know if there's any other comments you want to get to, but
not really. Just hey Squirrel saying that he's having.
Oh,
we did have a great show, folks. we did have a great show. I'm out to dinner in Alba Quincy. Let's go.
Mhm.
Right in
Show
my
him
neck of
Alba.
the
No, I'm just
woods.
kidding. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
I when I saw Alba, I looked over and went, did
I
somebody
know he's
comment
with
John
Alba.
Alba?
Yeah.
In a work meeting, so can't listen, but I'll catch the replay while I edit tonight. Be well. You too,
Appreciate
squirrel.
that,
All
squirrel.
right.
Thank
We love
you.
the support any way we can. And then Dickie to comment to round things out here. There are so many injuries right now with Braun, Bray, Randy, KO, Liv, Dakota, Bailey, maybe Trish, maybe Gargano. Heck, Damian Priest looked busted open yesterday. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on with injuries right now, but the thing is that it still pushes. I mean, there's still a lot to be excited for. It doesn't seem like, oh, it would be really great or they really needed them there.
Yeah.
Let them heal up a little bit. As much as I would love to see KO and Sammy on TV every week, let's give some other people the camera time, and get them up, because we need to build up the rosters, get some depth in there so that we can have some legit tag teams, some legit singles competitors for the US and Intercontinental title. So I'm okay with the injuries because they got to heal up. So
And one thing, I want to say one thing.
you
Don't
let it go.
forget that we are going live tomorrow to do our
Mañana.
SummerSlam predictions at our usual time, 7 to 7:30 Eastern. So,
Yeah, we
oh,
will be doing that tomorrow night to get those
yes.
up and rolling, because I'm very excited for SummerSlam, and the fact that I mentioned earlier that I do get to watch it in full. I can tell my friends to fuck off politely, and I can have the night to myself. It's gonna be nice. Maybe even do a recap show. Who knows? We'll do it either Saturday, Sunday. Who knows? We're gonna do a recap show
Well,
at some point. I don't
and
know
then
what.
also let us know, guys, if you ever want us to do another watch along. We've done those a couple times, and our channel has grown quite a bit since the last time we did those, I think. So we have more of you guys joining us on our live streams, which is really cool. So it might be a little bit more fun and worth it if we were to do a watch along in the
Oh, if we
future.
had,
So
like, right now, we have 10 people tune in right now. Thank you so much. Like, really
yeah.
appreciate it. And we had those 10 people for a watch along. I mean, I would have absolutely no issue.
Yeah, so
Doing
just
that.
let us know, because we kind of stopped doing it because we weren't getting a whole lot of interactions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Squirrel mentioned it, so that's why I wanted to mention it to you guys as well. So there we go.
That's it. That's what we got. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Raw Rewind, part of Pitts and Sarah's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And if you want to keep going and take no nights off with us and watch all of our content, over 700 plus videos that Sarah and I, my percentage of cut videos is a lot smaller percentage than the hers right now. So go check those out in the archive. Sarah Marshall XO on YouTube. And then for all the other social media accounts that we have that you need to go follow, it's in the description below. While you're at the description below, leave a comment. It can be anything, okay, that we could answer on the show tomorrow, next week, for a guest, possibly. That actually might be coming up pretty soon. Yeah. So, who knows? We'll have to see and find out. So follow us there and stay on tap with all of us. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you mañana. Yeah.